Grab your coffee, tea, or meat and settle in. Susie considered herself a remote work pro, a master of appearing busy, an expert at strategically muting herself in Zoom meetings, and a scholar of staring into the fridge for inspiration. But today, something threatened her perfectly calibrated existence. It began with an eerie ping, a sound that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. At first, Susie assumed it was a routine email notification. She checked her laptop. Nothing. Then, maybe a text? Nope. Microwave malfunction? Not likely, but worth checking anyway. And then it happened again. After 40 minutes of this mystery, Susie was spiraling. She had achieved nothing except diagnosing herself with a mild case of workplace paranoia. If her productivity had a graph, it would have fallen off a cliff. Determined to solve the case, Susie glanced and noticed her neighbor Joan was on her balcony, hard at work typing away on her laptop. Joan was a fellow work-from-home veteran, well known for her overconfidence and amateur detective work. Susie texted her. Weird question. Are you hearing random pings? Susie got a response from Joan. Are you okay? Or are you finally reaching the part of remote work where inanimate objects start talking to you? What? Before Susie could defend her sanity, another echoed through her apartment. Susie sprinted into her bedroom. She sprinted into her kitchen. She grabbed her phone and threw it into a drawer, convinced it was the culprit. Silence. Finally. Then her phone vibrated from the drawer. A message from Joan. Wait, I hear it now too. Did you infect me with whatever weird tech curse you have? Susie's eyes widened. This was bigger than her. Was this contagious? A moment later, the ping sounded again, but this time it sounded like it was coming from outside. Susie rushed to her window. Across the sidewalk, Joan also flung open her window, looking equally bewildered. And there, sitting comfortably between their apartments, was a pigeon. And that pigeon was pecking aggressively at Susie's smartwatch. Joan screamed with laughter. This is what's been ruining your sanity, she yelled, wheezing. Your watch? The pigeon hacked your productivity tracker? Susie blinked as the realization hit. Her smartwatch had been sending stand up and move notifications all morning, but the pigeon had claimed it as its new favorite toy. The constant pecking had been triggering the notifications, causing an endless cycle of tech-inflicted suffering. Susie groaned. I've been haunted by a motivational pigeon. Joan wiped away tears. It's actually following instructions better than you do. And that's when another sounded. Not from the smartwatch, but from Joan's laptop. Joan's face paled as she turned to see a second pigeon sitting on her balcony, aggressively walking across her keyboard. "Oh my," Susie whispered. "What if they're working together?" "What if it sends an email?" Joan whispered back. "If this pigeon emails my boss, I'm quitting." They panicked. Susie, in an act of pure desperation, decided to shut off her Wi-Fi, believing this might disrupt the pigeon's reign of terror. Instead, her entire work system crashed. Joan tried a more sensible approach, bribing the pigeons with crackers. However, instead of taking the snack and leaving, one pigeon desperately stepped on her keyboard, sending an incomplete Slack message to her coworker. Joan replied back, "Sorry, that was my pigeon." Her boss immediately responded, "Your what?" In a final reckless move, Susie grabbed her smartwatch and turned off notifications. Again, silence. As their reign had ended, it looked like the pigeons exchanged glances as they flew away. Joan collapsed into her chair. Susie checked her dead Wi-Fi. Joan checked her inbox for damage control. Then Joan sent one final text. "This is why I refuse to use smart tech. It literally backfires." Susie couldn't argue. When working from home, sometimes your biggest workplace disturbance is a tech-savvy bird, and sometimes the worst IT decisions come from pure panic. Guilty by Association podcast.